90.3 KRNU and krnu.unl.edu. You're listening to Heresy, and that was Spawn of Psychosis, the Kollector. My name is Joe, and tonight I have Jon Kruse back in the studio, and Nate. Jon, welcome back.
What's up, metalheads?
Jon Kruse of the Kruse Collection, just bringing by another piece of your vault.
Piece of the vault, yeah. Yeah, that song was written for my YouTube show, Metal's Best by Metal's Best, specifically for the show from the guys in Spawn of Psychosis. So it was really nice that they took the time to write that for me. I thought it was pretty killer, so I thought it would do them a solid and play it. So
absolutely, and Spawn of Psychosis, their UK band. I think you already said that, right?
Yeah, industrial metal. But yeah, they working on a double EP, hopefully this year, I think. But
and you said they wrote that as a courtesy, just kind of like use that for your Metal's Best kind of show, but they're thinking about putting lyrics to that. Though.
Yeah, I think he said that he liked the riff so much that they wanted to put lyrics to it and make it an actual song. So that's pretty cool.
And how long have those guys been around?
I think I'm going to say, did you put me on the spot and I don't have notes, but probably 2011 or something to that effect, quite a while.
So they have a Facebook page, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're on Facebook. I post about them all the time as well. So definitely, hit them up. Spawn of Psychosis. You can actually hit up Chris Dredge as well on Facebook, or Cheryl Hall. She actually has a Facebook page, and she's actually their PR person. So
sounds good. And this is what we're all about here: is sharing metal that people haven't heard before, and you do the same thing with Metal Inquisition as well. As you have a local segment on there. And Jon, I just wanted to bring up for people who may have missed the last couple times that you've been to the studio, and the first hour is going to be devoted to the Kruse collection, or at least as much as we can fit in there in between conversations, that kind of thing. Second hour, we're going to go through Nebraska's scene. And so if you're listening from other parts of the world, don't discount us just because it's Nebraska stuff. No. I mean, I think we have a lot of stuff that can hang with the best. And I'm proud of it. Proud to know that it comes from my backyard. And Jon, this being either my second to the last show or third to the last show that I'm doing here, I'm glad to have you back in the studio, because it's always been fun having you in the studio, and I've had listeners come up and say that they appreciated you bringing something by that they haven't heard before.
Cool. Well, hopefully I can do that again tonight. So.
And what is some new stuff that people haven't heard before that's next on the list?
Well, this band's called Withered Beauty. There was a compilation by Nuclear Blast called Death is Just the Beginning. On the fourth volume, it came out in 1997. They had a song called Immortality is Mine. Really killer song. Awesome black and death metal, melodic black and death. And then they put out a self-titled album, Withered Beauty, which is pretty good, but nothing compared to that song. And then they just kind of disbanded. But this song has always been one of my favorites. A really, really cool song. And so, like I said, it was just on a compilation. When they reissued the Withered Beauty album, I believe the reissue has the song added to it. But, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So here's Immortality is Mine.
Heresy on 90.3 KRNU and streaming online on krnu.unl.edu. That was Withered Beauty. Immortality is Mine. That's from a 1995 record. It was, it's a compilation. Death is Just the Beginning, Volume 4. Off, there it is again, Nuclear Blast.
Yeah, if you want to check out some really kick-ass death metal bands and thrash and just bands that were on Nuclear Blast during that time, that compilation series was great. It went up through Volume 7. You can actually, they had some DVDs that had videos from the bands during that time too, but do a lot of cool stuff, some unreleased stuff. I think the band Benediction did a cover of Riders of the Storm, the Doors song.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was interesting stuff. So
Now, when they do that cover, do they like make it their own though?
Oh yeah,
that's how real covers should be done.
It's very, very heavy and very just. It doesn't sound like the Doors, which is good because I'm not a Doors fan. So
yeah, you have their entire collection.
Yeah, we didn't have to go there, did we?
We did. I figure while you're on this show pushing music, you're also going to start pushing the host. So I might as well draw first blood.
It's the hell that is my life for being a collector, man. You know.
Yeah.
So.
That and the 15,000 CDs. Does that include the vinyls and tapes that you have?
No, that's probably just the CDs. I haven't really counted, to be honest with you, just kind of approximating. But the vinyls, there's probably 3,500 vinyl, I think. So.
Yeah, and I've been to the dungeon. It's grown since then, of course.
Oh yeah.
And so there's this band called As I Lay Dying. A lot of people out there are already rolling their eyes because they think we're going to go there, but. The singer pulls double duty as well as syringes out of his ass. Is he out of prison for that yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
I stopped buying believe it or not, I don't have all the As I Lay Dying CDs. So. But
the side project Austrian Death Machine, I heard it before. It was pretty funny. Yeah, go ahead and give us some more background about those guys.
Well, it's kind of like, I guess it's a project of his, kind of a thrash metalcore type thing. And they've had 3 releases: Total Brutal, Double Brutal, and Triple Brutal. And so the song that I'm going to play is it's going to be on the next Metal Inquisition as well. But it was just too good to pass up not to play. Initially, basically what it is it's kind of a spoof / tribute to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so there's somebody that does like a Schwarzenegger impersonation throughout the thing. And so I saw the title of the song, and I thought, man, it's just going to be funny. I'm going to put it on there. And then when I actually listened to the song, I was actually pretty killer thrash song. So I figured, it's a win-win there. It's a little, makes you laugh and makes you bang your head at the same time. So this is from the 2008 release, Total Brutal. Get to the Choppa.
Get to the Choppa.
So do you want more of a meow or ah?
Don't scare me like that. That was the Austrian Death Machine. Get to the Choppa. Thank you, Jon Kruse, for once again coming into the studio. Jon Kruse, world's biggest metalhead.
Or one of them. Maybe not the biggest, but...
you're just humble, that's all.
Yeah, I guess.
And so you said you had Mike listening in, and he's from which band now?
From Riotous Indignation. They're out of Chicago. It's kind of a mix of kind of crossover thrash. I kind of met up with him on Facebook last year and heard their EP. They put out a an EP. I'll probably pronounce it wrong, but Violence Musicae. Just a 4-track EP, and just a lot of great stuff on that little EP. I think I even did like an interview type thing that I posted on my Facebook page at one point. But he kind of talked with me the other day. We're actually possibly looking at throwing together a compilation of bands, trying to get like 20 bands that are actively touring and actively, seriously wanting to, to get their name out there, that are under the radar, and that's not bigger name bands, to throw together for that. And so we've been kind of chatting about that a little bit. So I've been kind of trying to find some bands that are interested. So if anybody is interested in that, definitely hit me up on Facebook and let me know that you're interested. And as I get more information, I can definitely pass it along to you about what it's going to entail and what's going to happen with that. So
that's Jon Kruse with a K. You also have your YouTube page, The Kruse Collection,
yeah.
both those with Ks as well,
yep.
Right? And that's where you can find your compilations of Metal's Best by Metal's Best and episodes of Metal Inquisition. Mm-hmm. You just had latest one just this past Monday, correct?
What, Metal Inquisition? No, I didn't get one done this week because I finally got another Metal's Best done, Volume 6. So I
got mixed up.
Yeah, it's all right. Because I had to prep for the show and all. I mean, put stress on me and everything, so I couldn't get it done. So I'll probably put two shows up next week. So lots and lots of stuff to listen to. So
now, did you want to go ahead and play Riotous Indignation?
Yeah, we're gonna play a track from their EP. It's called "The End" by Riotous Indignation.
That was Riotous Indignation, The End. Jon Kruse came by once again. He's playing some stuff off the Kruse collection, and that just happened to be part of it.
Yeah, you can if you dug that, you can hit up Mike Rappel on Facebook, REPEL, and he'll be happy to hook you up with a way to get it. They've been around playing since 2015, so really great guy, really great stuff, and a really well done CD for an independently released CD. So Yeah, it's really good stuff. So make sure you hit up Mike and definitely check out their Facebook page as well, because he would definitely appreciate that. And I know, at least I think he's listening right now. So cheers, Mike. So.
And I'm trying to get their Facebook page up here. Maybe it's just because of the browser that somebody messed with the browser in here, but it's not giving the band's information. I'm seeing a lot of featured posts and photos, but nothing about the band's info, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you
Damn.
can.
But they do have a Facebook page.
Yeah, it's just Riotous Indignation, and that's spelled RIOTOUS, Riotous, not righteous, and then indignation is INDIGNATION. So if you type that in, you'll find it, no problem. So, and they have a website, and I believe it's just riotusindignation.com. So,
John, you just had not too long ago an adventure in Omaha when Creator played there, along with two of Lincoln's very own foremost purveyors of death metal, Ezra and Garoted.
I did.
And so obviously, when you're playing with, or when you're two machines of bands like Ezra and Garoted, they don't let anybody down as far as the performance goes. And then Creator, how'd they do?
They were awesome. That was the fourth time I've seen them, and to top it all off, at the end of the night, I got to meet Mila and Ventnor, the original drummer, and obviously the singer and guitarist. So that was worth the trip. But it was great to see him play, and lots of people there. One of the times, actually, the first time Joe and I went to see them, back when Joe was a young lad.
I'm old now.
Maybe 30 people. Maybe 30 people at the show. It was embarrassing for.
No, I wasn't there for that one. I was.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't there when they toured with Destruction. That was the tour before I went. I went on the Enemy of God tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm old too, so I forget a lot too. I did want to mention also that video for Riotous Indignation. There is a YouTube video of that for the end, so. You can go check that out on YouTube as well. So,
the next band that we're looking at is, well, they're just known simply as Lik, L-I-K, and they're a death metal band out of Sweden.
Yep. It's a funny story. I had one too many one night and decided I was going to do a go live video and started chatting, and had I think Gord from Pile Driver was commenting a lot, and there was a couple other people that were commenting back and forth a lot, and so then we started talking Swedish death metal and how I love the old Entomb style stuff. And so then these people were typing, "Have you heard this band? Have you heard this band?" And one of my Facebook friends from Europe asked me if I'd ever heard Lik. It's L-I-K, and I'm like, no, haven't heard Lik before. And I checked them out, and I own Lik now, and it's killer. It's just the same. They're Swedish death metal, just a la Old Entombed and Old Dismember. So if you guys like that old style Swedish death metal, this is really going to grab you. It's from their 2015 release, Mass Funeral Evocation. The song's Le Morte Homme.
In the lengthening days of March, the Germans extended their attacks to the west bank of the Meuse and to a hill with the sinister name of Morte Homme, Dead Man.
Acid smoke in my side, rising from the ashes. I like this new generation of music. Mother of God, it's all toilet sounds.
Heresy and KRNU.
That was Predator. The song was called Home, correct?
Yes, that was Home. Really great band. They're hopefully in the process of getting a live album put together. You just added Rick Mathiasen, I think is how he says his name, pronounces his name. If I'm wrong, Damien, you can kick me later. But it's fronted by Damien Lee Thor. He was the founder of the band. Great guitar player, as you could hear at the beginning of that song. And if you guys are interested, I did a kind of what I call a video interview with Damien not too long ago. It's on my YouTube page as well. Basically, I sent him questions in video form, and then he answered them back in video form, and then I spliced it all together. So it looks like we're doing an interview, but not really. But it really turned out well, and it was really cool. And Predator's definitely a band you guys need to check out. Any of the bands locally, if you guys have any shows coming up that you need some support with, they are really looking for some shows to play. So definitely get them up there. They're out of Florida. So let's bring them down to the Midwest and show them some Nebraskan hospitality. I got to say really quick, I know that my kids, I got 2 little kids, so I got to say hello to Jack and Savannah really quick. Stay metal, guys. So
you're raising them correctly.
They both know how to do the metal horns. So,
well, that's how it starts.
That's the start, and they can identify the members of KISS. So that's a start. I know that makes you sick, but hey.
That doesn't make me sick. It's just, I'm just not a fan. That's all. Just means it's not like, I revile and like my guts come out of both ends, when I think about them. No, that's something more reserved for, say, dubstep. But no, to expand on what you were talking about earlier, how you did an interview with Damien that people can check out. I mean, you do interviews with a lot of bands too, and I think you posted an invitation earlier this week to Facebook, even to like some of the local bands, and basically would be the same avenue as inviting them, as you sharing their music on your weekly webcast in the Metal Inquisition.
Right.
It'd be good for exposure because people check out your YouTube page from all around the world because you network and you do all that.
Well, there's a friend of mine on Facebook. Initially, I was just going to come in as kind of a guest host occasionally. He's trying to put together a podcast. He's out of Illinois. And the person that was going to co-host with him kind of had too many fuels in the fire or whatever you want to call it, rods in the fire. And so he kind of hit me up and asked me if I would be interested in co-hosting. So we're hopefully going to start that podcast here soon, possibly recording the first Skype session this Sunday. But on my end, since I'm not able to necessarily come around to a lot of the shows here in town locally, or even, catch as many shows as I'd like, I thought it would be neat to each week do a Skype interview with a different band or different musician, both well known as well as up and coming bands and bands that are under the radar. So, if you guys are in a band and are interested in doing that, hit me up on Facebook. Let me know if you're at all interested, because like I said, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Hopefully, we'll do it weekly, and we'll talk a lot about metal. He's more on the grindcore side, and that's that type of music, and I'm more in the vein of thrash and all that. So the two of us kind of mesh well together. So
Slik, Taktik.
Yeah, it's a band that hit me up. I don't remember how we ended up crossing paths on Facebook, but they're kind of just a straightforward heavy metal, slightly power metal band from Germany, Slik Taktik. And so they sent me a couple MP3s from their upcoming first EP, Evil Wind. And so I thought that was really kind of cool. And so these are songs that haven't really been heard by a lot of people so far, and you guys get the first opportunity to hear it. So this is the title track from the 2017 upcoming EP, Evil Wind. Here's Evil Wind.
And that was Slik Taktik, Evil Wind, the title track off looks like this year's release, right?
Yeah, it's not out yet. Probably won't be released till June. And there is another track from that EP that will be featured on, well, it was supposed to be this week's Metal Inquisition, but it won't be until probably next Monday, possibly a little bit earlier. Like I said, I might do two shows for next week since I didn't do one on Monday, thanks to this show. And I had to put together this awesome playlist for you. Take away songs from my playlist. I don't want to put any guilt or make you feel bad or nothing, but yeah.
It always, you can always just default or discount what you just said as long as you say, I don't intend to do that.
I didn't really want to make you feel bad, Joe, but
yeah.
Thanks a lot for nothing.
Well, and thanks a lot for your wife tuning in too. It was, you want to say hi to her? Or give a shout out?
She got off already. As long as she just wanted the kids to hear, and then they were done. So.
Oh well.
But you can check her out on my newest version of Metal's Best by Metal's Best. Couple people on Facebook wanted to see a video with her on it, just to see her metal picks, and so initially I thought, she's going to do a 5-minute video. It ended up being 20 minutes long. So yeah, she really got into it. And they're just your standards. They're nothing outrageous. And, although she did cite Motorhead, she loves Lemmy. She loves his vocals, and which really kind of blows me away because I would never think that about her. But yeah, it was cool. And there's a couple other cool things. With the whole band spawned a Psychosis, very beginning of it. The whole band does their own, each one does their own video. And Cheryl, their PR person, and the singer's girlfriend did one. And then her little boy, 9-year-old Aaron, did his own video. And that kid is already well versed in metal. Mentioned like Powerwolf and Korkaplani, and I really impressed him because I actually never heard Korkaplani, and so I went to a show at that place, on O Street that sells whiskey, but not really whiskey.
You talking about the Whiskey Theater?
Yeah, there you go. Because they played with Ensiferum and Troll Fest, I think it was, and so I had a tour shirt from the show, and I did a little video for him and held that up and I got the vinyl of the band there, and so he really appreciated it. But he loves metal, and he loves music. He's gonna really get into music as he gets older, and he's just gonna be a huge metalhead, I think. So
you're not the only one starting your kid off on the right foot, then, huh?
They've got him going. So, but yeah, there's just all sorts of different. I finally got Mike Melliner from Intrinsic on there. I did actually a video for my YouTube channel with about Intrinsic, and he shared that a lot. And then he sent me a message saying, "Hey, when are you gonna put my video on?" Or either that, or he said, "Has my video been on that Metal's Best thing yet?" And oh no, I better put that on there. So, but I've got quite a few still coming. Hopefully, Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper actually agreed to do one still. So hopefully he'll do one, and couple other people coming. So
now Darren from Obesity sent one in too, didn't he?
Yep, and that's in my pile still. So Darren, if you're listening, it is coming, I promise. Next one, Volume 7, it will be on, and if it's not, you can find me and kick me in the teeth.
As for other Lincoln bands or just Nebraska bands in general, I am staring in your direction right now. DeadEchoes, Ezra, guys from Y-Incision, all the bands that I play. You guys should take part in this too. It'd be very interesting to see you guys just on there talking about your which albums were most impactful to you, and it was also a lot of fun taking part of it when I did it. So
and it doesn't have to
recommend it.
Doesn't have to just be metal. If it's hard rock, if it's rock or whatever got you into music, it doesn't matter. Whatever got you into playing an instrument doesn't really matter. It's really more about just your journey and how you got where you are today. So.
Metal's Best by Metal's Best. Take part in it, bitches. Now, Legion. That's a pretty simple name, but there's nothing simple about the way they sound.
Yeah, it's a band, actually. I just kind of encountered the guy, I think he's the guitarist, on Facebook the other day. They're from Georgia. And what's really, really weird about it is they're a band that was around from the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s. I never heard them before. And when I had asked about people that were interested in doing the Skype interview, he had hit me up about that. And so we got to talking, and I said, hey, I'm going to be on this radio show, and I also have my Metal Inquisition show. Send me a couple MP3s. And so he sent me some MP3s from, they just reissued pretty much all their releases from back in the day on 2 compilations. And so figured I'd play one of the tracks that I really dug off. Basically, it was off their 1989 release, Bible of Stone. The song's called Red and Black.
That band was called Trouble, Psychotic Reaction. And before that, we did
ARG.
ARG, A-R-G, a period after each one of those. What does that stand for?
Well, I knew you were going to ask that. Originally, the frontman of the band, his name was Ronka Kustanis, I think. Or no, pardon me. That's the name of the label that their last album was on. Aku Raska. And they originally was called the Aku Raska Group, ARG. And then he left, and so they changed it to stand for Ancient Rotten Graveguards. Yeah,
It's metal enough.
See what Metal Archives will do for you? Yeah. But the guy that left the band, that Aku Raska, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing right, went on to front the thrash band National Napalm Syndicate, which is a really, really cool band as well. He was never on any of the releases. ARG put out 2 albums in the late 80s, early 90s, and then that one that we played was from 2015. It's a new release, or newer release. So, and then Trouble is just an old school doom psychedelic band. But pretty much, I'm sure everybody knows who Trouble is. But that was from their self-titled 1990 album Trouble, that was released on Def Jam American, and just a killer. If you like that kind of Sabbathy sound, that doomy sound, that album is just killer. It's a good mix of that Black Sabbath doom with kind of, I guess, I hesitate to use the word the Beatles, but just kind of that, it's kind of got a mix of both. I know that Eric Wagner, the singer, is kind of influenced by the Beatles a little bit. So anyway.
Well, no, thank you very much for sharing your stuff once again. We still have more tracks that are on here, but we're already past the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour, and this is the hour of the local stuff, Nebraska stuff. And we were just talking about Vickers off the air. Yeah, those guys. If you're still listening from other parts of the globe, don't think that just because, we're just some corn-infested state. Well, it's true. We are a corn-infested state, but
lots of corn.
Lots of it. But we also have a bunch of other stuff. Imagine that. Metal. And one of the bands that we're going to play is apparently the sound you and your old roommate, John, related a lot to the Swedish sound.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent. I think John said he reminded him of like Rotten Sound and Nasum and stuff like that. So,
well, the song is called Satanic Possession. The band is called Vickers.
These middle-class housewives that are worried that we want to abduct their children are barking at the wrong tree, because we wouldn't want anything to do with their whole mediocre and corrupt lifestyle.
This music sucks. Heresy.
Chemical confusion, slow and suffocate till I'm dead. So it's all in my head. Take me down now, watch me in the river. It's in my bed. Take me down to clams in the water. I'll take your everything. I'll want to bring the light from the fire. Did I really tell me? Can you feel it? Inside us, got your mind. I'm talking that before. Wing driver, can you see it? As the night comes tonight, I will take you. Down with me. Westside's natural will set the world on fire.
That was Omaha band The Clincher. The song was called P.B.P.B.S off their newest EP. It's almost a year old, called Prelude. And before that, we kicked off the Nebraska Lincoln scene with Lincoln band Vickers, Satanic Possession. You had your ex-roommate John just send you a message saying, that hits the spot, right?
He was excited, yeah.
Yeah.
He really wants to get a hold of the physical product, so hopefully we can hit the band up and get that from them.
That has been a case that we've been working on for a while. Wonder if it's going to go cold. I don't know. We need cooperation from the other party. Might need to file for an injunction on that. And if you want to hit me up on the Heresy page, it is just Heresy on KRNU. It's kind of a greenish profile picture of a guy being burned at the stake. Presumably he's a heretic. But yeah, that's where you can hit me up. If you're in a local metal band, you know somebody in a local metal band. And by local, I mean something like anywhere like within an 80-mile radius of Lincoln. I'll try and support you in the final 2 weeks, maybe 1 week that I'm doing this show. But if you're listening from other parts of the world, just send me a message there too. I'm curious to hear if you're tuning in and where you're from. So before that, no, I recovered that, didn't I, John?
You're losing it.
I know. My pubic brain is coming back. John knew me when I was still a pubic pup, and I still show shades of that, apparently. Back when I had long hair.
You look great with the short hair, Joe. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I look like I'm just about to throw myself into the pit, though, right?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what, the first 2 days were hard. Like, if I wasn't interning, or if I was at home, those first 2 days I covered my head with a towel because reflective surfaces were tormenting me.
Yeah.
And it took about a few weeks for me to get used to it. Now I'm used to it. I still miss the long hair, though. It was a lot of fun, but it was fun to have. The last time, or one of the times you paid us a visit, you remember I told you about an artist out of Malcolm, Nebraska, who I said he sounds kind of like Charlie Daniels, except more pissed off.
Right.
Yeah, St. Christopher Webster. In fact, he has a show coming up. I was supposed to announce shows, but you know what? Hey, we're tied up with discussion and music that most people haven't heard, so I think I'll make an exception there. But he's going to be in Omaha sometime within the next month, and yeah, St. Christopher Webster's coming back to Nebraska. But before his solo stuff, he had a band called the Motherfuck'n Saints. He and his brother were doing this jackhammer speed project, metal, punk, rock infused, and I'm gonna go ahead and play their stuff for you if you're curious to hear it.
Yeah.
Song is called Sledgehammer.
He's a sledgehammer. He's a sledgehammer. He's a sledgehammer. He's a sledgehammer. He's a sledgehammer.
was a fucking bomb dropping on Beaver Cleaverville. For a few seconds, this place was Armageddon. There was a firefight!
Two in a row from Mother Effin' Saints because the songs are so short. You got to play two of them. That was Sinners and Saint, and before that was Sledgehammer. Both those are off. Come on, I just had it up here. And since I don't have it memorized, that means I'm not doing my job well enough, right?
Really not very professional, man.
I know. I call myself on that every single week that this happens. But, yeah, it was... No, it's not Burn. It's American Idiot, I think. Not American Idiot.
Were we listening
A
to
New
Green Day?
Kind of Patriot. A New Kind of Patriot. That's what it was. Somehow Green Day crept into my head.
A little bit big-headed, yeah. My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed. Somebody, I really need to blow my nose.
Yeah. Since the couple times you've come to the show, I mean, you already knew about Ezra. You know Garoted very well. They're good buddies of you guys. And then you've learned about some other local metal bands such as DeadEchoes. Dawnbreaker was another one. And I saw after you came in, you got some of Omaha band Socello stuff.
Yeah.
You also really like Y-Incision.
Yeah.
And you even got like their merch and shirt. And I went through and I saw the track listing of that stuff, and it has a bunch of tracks that I don't have. And maybe they renamed one of them because I didn't. There was like one song that I didn't see on what I have listed on that track. But there's just a testament to if bands reach out to you or you're trying to get a hold of their stuff. I know there's a couple you've reached out to who haven't gotten back, but. You not only are you willing to buy their stuff, you want to share it with other people too. You want to like show people. Check this out.
You may be done in a couple weeks, but I mean honestly, if anybody wants to send me MP3s or contact you and you can forward them to me, I'm not I'm willing to play anything. I'm not judgmental on my show. I don't I describe how it sounds to me. I don't put in any sort of. I guess I don't really talk about whether I like it or not. I'm pretty open-minded. I listen to a lot of different stuff. I just pretty much try and steer people and understand how the band sounds before I play it. There's no judging at all. There's no review. There's no, oh, this sucks, but check this out, But it's an avenue, and I have people. I don't have a lot of views, probably around 100, 150 views, depending upon the week. But there's people from all over the world. And so it gives you an opportunity to have people hear you from all over the world. And that's kind of cool. Get Lincoln's name out there. Because honestly, since I've been coming on this show, the few times I've done it, I've been really impressed with the stuff that's coming out of where I grew up. I would have never in a million years imagined that there's all sorts of bands like that out there in our backyard, like you put it. So.
And so, since you've been actively trying to get a hold of Nebraska bands and that kind of thing, how many ballpark would you say have gotten back to you and you have their stuff now?
Oh, let's see. I've talked with DeadEchoes, Y-Incision, Socello, Ezra. Scott actually called me. I left him a message. He called me back, and we chatted for a little while. And I met up with him at the Creator Show because. We through the years, and we're both older. I shouldn't make him feel bad and call him old, but we're both older, and we've both kind of crossed paths at a lot of different shows through the years. Once he saw me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." I'm trying to think who else.
Sons of Voorhees /
Sons of Voorhees, yeah, and actually, I forget. God,
Scummer was the other.
Well, no,
project.
it's the one of the guy that produced it.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, if you're listening, man. He actually hooked me up with not one, but the 2 remaining copies that were available by bottom. There was a guy on my Facebook page from, I want to say Michigan or something like that heard him. Loved him. And he actually heard him when you played him on Metal's Best on your segment. And so I sent the CD to him. So yeah, it was kind of cool. So, and some of the other stuff that you guys had played. Oh, how could I forget Obesity?
Yeah,
that was another one that's and made some good Facebook friends and some good followers on my YouTube page too. So
now, have you heard the new one from Obesity yet?
Yes and no. He sent me the MP3 of it, and I listened to it, but it's been a while, and I listened to a lot of different stuff. So I would like to hear it again, Joe.
It's this one's actually longer than a minute.
Okay,
The
well,
song. Well, I was about to, since we already talked about these guys, I already had them lined up, but we'll get to them. Let's say right after Y-Incision. We're gonna do a couple from. Well, we'll do Amputees and Devotees from Y-Incision. I don't know if that's the song that they changed the name to for their album, but I did see one of them was one of the 4 that I have on their demos is not on there, so I wonder if they just changed the name of it or if they scrapped it altogether. I can't imagine why they would, but yeah, we'll do Amputees and Devotees by Lincoln Band, Y-Incision.
Here you will find the heretics and followers of every cult and pagan sect, all buried together, burning in eternal fire.
Your source for local metal.
Heresy!
On 90.3 KRNU, Lincoln. Open Wide. That was Poop Soup by Obesity, Omaha band. And another band that likes to keep them short and sweet right before that was Y-Incision, Amputees, and Devotees.
I'm kind of hungry now.
Me too, man. I mean, I kind of want, it makes me think of French onion right now.
Oh, some soup.
Right.
Yeah, I just know what kind. Though.
Something deep and brown. Something that stings the nostrils. Puts out that kind of a smell.
I listed. I'm not hungry anymore.
What was that? What was that one album cover that you once showed to people one time?
Waco Jesus, you mean that one?
I think it was that
with the scat on
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful artwork. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance to check it out, it's the something to Commercial Scum, Waco Jesus' first album. It's really great song titles, really great subject matter, and really great artwork.
We did talk about Metal's Best earlier, so I know I'm kind of like jumping back and forth. I wish I remembered to bring this up. A couple of the you talked about a couple of the artists that are on there, but you also said 2 of the members of the Mentors are also part of that, and they're wearing their hoods.
Yeah. First Steve Broy did one a couple of episodes back. He did one. He's his title in the band is Dr. Heathen Scum. So he actually, after he did his, he said, hey, if you want me to, I'll hit up some of the other guys in the band and give me your email. So a little while later, a couple days later, I get these two videos. One is from Viejo Malo, which is one of their drummers. And they if you're familiar with the Mentors at all, they pretty much they're late 70s, early 80s, and current kind of porn rock / S&M type rock. And they wear black S&M hoods. And used to be El Duce, the original singer, was super, super fat, and he didn't wear a shirt, and he just wore the hood, and it was, the covers were disturbing to say the least. And so the other guy's name is Cousin Fister. That's the other guy that does the video. So, but it's kind of interesting and humorous to see them do these videos, and they look all evil and everything. And the one guy picks ZZ Top, Eliminator, and Van Halen, and bands like that, And then, of course, at the end, they have to pick the Mentors for their favorite.
Shameless
band.
Self-promotion.
Yeah, but it is really kind of cool to knowing their history and how long they've been around and everything to get them on the video as well. So
I was gonna say, if you don't know the Mentors, all you have to do is watch that Jerry Springer episode that Duce was on with Gwar. That's how I found out about the Mentors. I had heard about Gwar on Springer and how it was funny, but Duce was on before that. And yes, he was saying just all the wrong things, including to one woman who says she was a rape victim, and he just said all the wrong. But it was
kind of, they're kind of G.G. Allen-ish. That's they sort of just whatever they can do and say to be as offensive as humanly possible
because it gets attention.
Yeah, but the band Pungent Stench did. They have a song called the 4F Club, which I can't repeat what the 4F stand for. But they do a cover of it. It's pretty good. But they're another band that kind of added that whole S&M theme to it later on in their career.
But it just goes to show you have so many artists from around the world, around the country, who take part in these Metal's Best by Metal's Best. And if you can get more of the Lincoln bands or just Nebraska bands take part in it, who knows how many.
Or fans.
I mean, that's right, yeah.
Honestly, right now, I still have quite a few videos from artists, and I don't have very many from fans. That's part of the reason why I had to hit my wife up for one. So, not that that's the only reason, but, it's getting to the point where what I do with a video is I do a fan and then a band member, so it's not weighted heavier on one end or the other. I could have just as easily hit bands up and done these videos just with all bands, but I thought it would be important to include fans and collectors, and it just shows that we're all, no matter where we come from in our heavy metal journey, so to speak, we all pretty much have kind of the same trip, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I want to say.
Well, you mentioned kind of a Sabbathy doom sound from one of the bands earlier, and Omaha has one of those too. I think the first time you paid us a visit, it was we played Supermoon for you, and we're just going to go ahead and play a track from that one right now. It's called Horn on the Mountain.
You know how you got that dent in your top lip? Way back, before you were born. I told you a secret. Then I put my finger there. And I said, shh.
Heresy. Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
That would be one talented son of a bitch named Jay Messer. Lives in Sioux City. And then he became one of our own when he went to Omaha. Now he's back in Sioux City. I wish I knew the name of that track. I really need to get a hold of him so you can let me know what the name of each of these songs are. But Jay Messer, introduced by Jon Kruse, actually, and you were introduced because he knew Gord from Piledriver?
Yeah, Gord had... I can't remember if Gord sent me the stuff or if Jay did, but Jay had sent the stuff to Gord to kind of mix and master. So really good stuff. And then I heard that, and it was right before I came on your show the first time. So I thought I'd bring it. And Jay was going to try and come with us tonight, but couldn't find a ride. So it was kind of a happy deal.
And, I'd like to, I'm glad to be playing him on the air. Like I said, his music always has a place here on Heresy, but it would be cool to have him in the studio sometime. So now one of the other bands that I got you into is DeadEchoes, and we're about to play a song called Rightmind. I think it's off their first demo. That this is back when DeadEchoes was just a baby. They were wearing diapers when they went and recorded this.
I'm sure they appreciate you saying that.
I don't mean any ill will, guys, but for those who are listening from other parts, this is one of the bands who I'd say is one of Lincoln's premier bands as far as just like how they execute on stage. They're just machines, and you know what? They do a hell of a job of helping other local bands. They and Ezra, they're all about just helping other bands in the Nebraska scene and making connections. And this song is called Rightmind.
for change, you filthy animal.
Two in a row from Lincoln's. Well, I don't want to say DeadEchoes is completely death. They're kind of a thrashy death, wouldn't you say? But that was Ezra. Ezra just got done playing at the that show with Creator. And by the way, the song was called Drink the Blood. Here I am getting ahead of myself here. Right along with Garoted. And John, how'd they do? You went to that show. I unfortunately could not go. But how'd they do opening for Creator?
Ezra, they're always awesome. I mean, the presence about Scott. You know, he's really kind of a soft-spoken guy when you meet him and talk to him, and almost a little shy. But then, man, he gets up on stage and just transforms into this different person. I mean, it's incredible, and they just bash it out, and they just had a remarkable response from the crowd. I mean, it's just they were, you know. The fact that they've been doing it as long as they've been doing it, and they haven't really released any albums per se, and they just have such a following, and you know, people just know who they are, and they come out to see them play, and it's just a testament to how much passion they have for the music that they play, I think so.
And yeah, that goes along with what I already said earlier, that yeah, for them it's just about the music and just about helping out the local scene. They're all about just connecting with other bands, adding them to shows, giving them chances, that kind of thing. And it's just good to have artists like that part of the scene, because so much, and I don't mean to just say everybody in Omaha is like this, but you just hear a lot about the clickiness in Omaha, and I'm not going to say there's no clickiness in Lincoln, because there is, but I mean, you just hear so much about that in Omaha that's just selfishness, and there's really no bands supporting each other in Omaha, or it's not as big of a thing for bands to support each other in Omaha, and Ezra and DeadEchoes are not like that. They're very much about, yeah, let's make this a family thing, you know. But Westside Proletariat is more of the hardcore side, hardcore punk side of things here in Lincoln, and apparently they're too heavy to be played on KRNU's regular rotation. KRNU is all about, you know, they say we support local music. They should have an asterisk next to that. Unless you're metal, you're heavy rock or hard rock, that kind of thing, then you have to have specialty shows. Heresy takes care of some of those chunks. I try to avoid the hard rock, you know, that kind of, I know we're getting into that gray line kind of thing. Well, you played this band, they're not that heavy. I try to avoid that, but they have 4 demos that they already released, and I've played Legacy, I've played We Can See. I'm going to just go ahead and play Don't Ever Give Up and Fight. This is new music from Westside Proletariat. You're hearing it on
Don't know why that had to happen.
You know what? There's a song for that from another local band, now defunct, called, they're called Beaver Damage. They had a song called Road Rage. We were just off the air talking about road rage, real life road rage. But that was Westside Proletariat, some of the new music from those guys. They say they're going to change their name, even though they've retained the majority of their members. I don't know. I think they sound just like Westside Pro. They might as well stay the same, but that's not for me to decide. So obviously, but this before we play the closer for tonight. Yes, it clipped out again, and that's not even the right one I wanted to play. No, we're going to play that one. I want to thank, once again, Jon Kruse for stopping by again.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's always fun having you in, and Nate, our kind of eye candy there, just sits in the corner and sits there smiling. No, it's always fun having you guys in the studio, and it really spices things up because you bring things that most people don't hear, and I'm sure while people are happy to hear local metal on the air, it can get kind of monotonous just to hear local all the time, and my collection of not so local is pretty limited, and you excel at that. So
I have a few.
Yeah, they like I said, I've gotten compliments from people before. It was just like, dude, have that guy back. So but the band that we're going to close with tonight is the other band that opened for Creator, Garoted. It's off their not most recent release, but let's just say their last release, Visions of Death and Destruction. But the song is called Evil Incarnate, and that's what we're going to close with. But before I go, I just want to thank also anybody who is listening from other parts of the world, other parts of the country, who John got to tune in. This is a weekly thing for perhaps the next 2 weeks. Maybe just next week might be my last week. Guests are Singe. Maybe I should have closed with them. The other lady went past her hour. I think we have time for Singe.
Sure we do.
Okay. Well, two bands will be closing tonight. Who you're about to hear is Garoted, but then right after that, stay tuned for Singe, because those guys are going to be my guests next week. They have new music they're going to release, and this is where I say peace out. What about you?
Stay metal.
All right. Simple enough.
God told me to look him, and I licked him. You know what you need? You need a Holy Ghost Spirit.
Father, we want all of what you have. All of what you have. We thank you.
You be made whole by the power of God.
Heresy.
This is not Joe Harris from Heresy. This is, but although I do sound like him. But you just heard Singe. That song was called Patriot, who apparently are going to be Joe's guests for next week. We're just going to get back into our regular rotation of Marshmallow Head hipster music right now. Have a good night, everybody.
Playing the best college music since 1970. 90.3 KRNU Lincoln.